What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. BobbyFi back with my man Eric Sheets. We are talking at week 3 NFL. Let's do it. We're ready to get fired. We had a nice baseball week over here. Sheets made a nice little run last night in the single entries. I won a tournament. I came in deep in another one. We're ready to attack football again, and we'll start off with our big winner over here. Sheets, what do you think on this slate overall? You paused it, didn't you?
I'm good. I didn't do anything.
That's bizarre because it paused, and I'm now worried about the rest of the show being taped.
Is that recording?
It showed as paused. That's bizarre. All right, I think we're okay, actually. I think it's working.
All right.
Oh, God, this is going to be so tilting if it's not. Let's finish it out strong. Guys, hopefully this was all coming to you clearly. I think we're good, Sheets. I think we're good. I don't know how that's...
No,
anyway, let's jump over to let's jump to the next game anyway.
Well, the good thing is this next game sucks.
Yeah.
All right. So my favorite play from this game, from Chargers, Carolina, aside from, I guess, both defenses, is Hunter Henry as tight end. Again, Waller's my favorite play, but he's going to be pretty high owned, and I think that Henry is going to be the lower owned of these guys. So I do like him. I think this game is going to be a complete catastrophe. I'm not going to try to play whoever Carolina's running out at running back. Who's it, Mike Davis? I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. If anybody wins the million out of this game, they can have it. That's the best I can describe this.
I'll tell you who I don't mind in this game is Austin Eckler. I'm very high on Austin Eckler.
You're not buying the Kelly hype?
What Kelly hype?
Isn't Kelly like basically the better running back there now or something?
Because week 1 everybody likes to freak out. I'll leave that to everyone else. I played Eckler last week. He had 20 touches and he had 18 fantasy points. There's nothing wrong.
That's what I was asking. I'm just saying.
The best matchup in football outside of Atlanta for running backs, and actually the best pure matchup for straight running, just for regular running backs. I don't know how that's possible because they have Christian McCaffrey on the practice field, so I'm not sure why they've consistently been so bad against the run. But Austin Eckler should definitely be high on your list in your player pool because he has explosive possibilities in this game. You might see like a 200-yard, 2-touchdown type of game. I don't care if he's splitting some of the carries. There's going to be plenty of room to run here. I don't mind Mike Davis. There's a lot of guys who are sort of showing to have a little bit of interest from people here. I think the real plays are Eckler, and then the one guy I'm sort of surprised you didn't mention because we sort of like to go to this guy, and I think that he's way too cheap, is Mike Williams. I like Mike Williams here. I think Carolina's defense is awful. I think that the Chargers offense is awesome. The Chargers defense is awesome. So I want to play the parts of the Chargers offense. I think they're just going to have the ball a lot. Eckler, DJ Moore is probably going to get a ton of work in the passing game on the other side. You can run a little bit back, but I don't want to make this a priority like you, but I'm just, these plays do kind of stand out as being sort of okay.
Okay.
But all right. And by the way, the thing with Kelly is you can take that shot with him. He's a talented kid. He's put up 12 and 13 fantasy points in 2 games, but do I really want to pay $5K for basically a backup running back who's got talent, but I would just rather play Eckler, who's got more of the sure workload.
So, boy, these are some teams that I root for here. I mean, people in my area root for. You got the Giants who are rolling out like picking up Devontae Free. I mean, then you get the Jets who have, oh my God. So it's going to be for the Jets. Who are they going to run out? They're going to be Frank Gore, right? And it's going to be Braxton Berrios season at receiver. I mean, what is going on for Chris Hogan? This is a disaster. By the way, we didn't talk about the Giants running backs, either Devontae Freeman or Deion Lewis. I'm not playing either of them, but
my plan currently isn't to play them, but I would definitely prefer Lewis, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I would. It's hard to know where Devontae is at.
I guess this is the game where Jonathan Taylor rushes for 250 yards. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
That seems to be the idea.
I mean, at crazy high ownership, shouldn't we just be playing Austin Eckler instead of him? You know what I mean? Shouldn't we just these are the same price guys, and what are we worried about? He's got to worry for timeshare too. They will play Nyheim Hines in the passing game. Now the problem is with the game script here, they probably aren't going to need a whole lot of Hines in the passing game because they should be able to handle this Jets team pretty easily. Boy, but man, I tell you what, it feels weird not to have interest for everyone to play Taylor, who, by the way, is going to be good. I'm just going to be below the field. I have to be somewhere. You know, I've talked about a lot of being ahead of the field and a lot of guys. So I'll be below the field like he's going to be really good. I have no question about that. But I don't need to play 30% owned running backs at the highest prices when I can play guys who are going to be unowned, like Eckler in the same range, who really are in like better spots even, and actually better players at this point possibly. We can't just assume that this rookie is going to all of a sudden be the best player in the NFL. This is not Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? He's still really good, and he might become one of the great running backs in the NFL, but it's not like he came into the league and immediately we should expect this guy to take over everything. I'm just not going to do it.
This going to be the Chris Herndon troll game or no?
I think you have to play some. Well, I think you want to play some Herndon anyway, but I really want to play the guy who I'm going to end up having to go back to, and I know it's been pretty grim so far with this play, is T.Y. Hilton. I just can't get over when he's playing at home on the turf and he's this price, especially in a get me right kind of a game for them. They kind of need this sort of, you know, they sort of were sloppy against Minnesota and Jacksonville.
Get him 100, get him a touchdown, right?
Yeah, get him going a little bit. Get him and Rivers on the same page, and I think that I think he's, you know, at 5.6 for a guy who. So if you had to rank Sheets, I've had to rank, you know, all the best receivers, the most likely to score the most fantasy points. T.Y. Hilton would be in the top 10 on that list, and he's 5.6. That should tell us that we should be playing him, in my opinion. Now, there is some variance to it in tournament. Obviously, this is a tournament play. This is not those aren't the most likely. They're the most likely to have the 150-yard game is basically what that list is. And I would just love to get some T.Y. Hilton here. That's it.
All right. You want to move on?
Are you playing anybody from the Jets? Like, I don't know who
play Byron Buxton or whatever his name is, and and Chris Hogan, right? I mean,
Herndon, yeah.
No, Hogan.
Oh yeah, Hogan too, but I'm not. But I'm. Oh my God.
Braxton Berrios, Chris Hogan.
Oh my God.
And Chris Herndon, right? I mean, like I said, the ball's got to go somewhere, I guess.
It's so gross, man. You're right. It's just super, super gross. All right. Well, I'm okay with assigning a few percentage points to these guys. I don't know if I want to go crazy with it. It just feels really gross. I mean, the thing is, they've got a competent guy throwing them the ball at least still. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. I'll play a tiny bit of it. It just feels gross.
So, I guess what's DeAndre Hopkins going to get? 15 catches?
I mean, at least, right?
I mean, it's a tough game to fade. Arizona just plays so freaking fast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a tough game to fade. DeAndre Hopkins, best probably play on the slate. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, as far as just points are going to be scored, I suppose. Kenyon Drake, Christian Kirk. You want to talk me into Larry Fitzgerald again? The whole team is in play. And on the other side, the whole Detroit team is in play too, from Galladay, I presume he's back, to Marvin Jones and Hawkinson. And so, yeah, it's going to be chalky. And I'm not going to have 100% of it, but it's kind of hard to not stack this game up every freaking which way, right?
Yeah, and I really like Kenyon Drake, by the way. He's another one that I'll probably be just below the field on because he's going to be massively owned.
Okay.
So I like him. I just think there's other routes to go. And again, you need to have some guys to fade if you're going to be overweight on all these weird plays.
Yeah.
So DeAndre Hopkins, I'll be ahead of the field on him. I just think that he stands out as being by far the best play of the day, the receiver. I really like Galladay running it back, and that's sort of what I would try to focus on. Love is a strong word. I like Christian Kirk very much in this spot. I don't know that it's not like the best play of the day. I think I prefer some of the other values. I don't know, actually. And then Mike Williams, I think I actually would take him over Mike Williams. It's pretty close. But that 4,500 price tag is hard to ignore. And I mentioned liking Galladay. Boy, this DeAndre Swift kid has had a rough go so far, but he's talented. I think I'm pretty much just leaving it at that. And then obviously, you know, Tyler Murray is an awesome play.
Yeah, he's my cash game quarterback.
Matt Stafford is probably more in play if you want to pair him with Galladay. I don't think I'm going to end up doing much of that, but it's certainly a way I could see going.
Yeah, and you know, and don't get too fancy with this stuff. When you have everything kind of working in its favor, I mean, because you could pivot off of chalky running back, so you don't have to play Arizona guys with Jonathan Taylor and Miles Sanders. You know what I mean?
Right,
like
exactly.
you could play Josh Jacobs and, Austin Eckler, like you were saying, or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Something like that. I agree. All right, you ready to go to the finale?
Not quite yet.
We got more.
Yeah, we got one more after the finale. So
my
the
bad.
finale, the actual good game, I guess. So Dallas Seattle's another one, which is it's just they're gonna fire him up there, man. Zeke, Amari, Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Gallup, everybody. Seattle. I think Lockett's probably my favorite play of all, maybe. He's weird. Listen to me, I'm Mr. Yahoo expert, but on Yahoo, I have almost all Tyler Lockett. So there's Tyler Lockett, DJ Metcalf, Carson, and there's rates to be a lot of freaking points, rates to be a close game. It's going to be competing with Arizona, Detroit for the highest total, I suppose, which is why I'm kind of into this Pittsburgh game, hopefully blowing up.
Pittsburgh call is really sharp. But I mean, everything you're saying about this game makes sense. It's all going to be popular and for good reason.
Yeah. Anything I missed from there?
No, I don't really know what else to add. I mean, I like Metcalf. I always sort of prefer him a little bit. I don't know why. I think it's just I like his big body and he's a touchdown machine. They're all good plays. I think it's weird, Cheats. Like, just to be completely upfront, I said a lot of things about being ahead and being behind the field. This is a game where I feel like I'm going to be like basically at the field. Like I don't feel like I'm going to have any real hard or strong takes or guys I don't want that, I'm going to play some of everything in this and I'm going to spread it out. And you can get multiple guys at 10%. You could play 4 guys from this game and probably be okay. So I'm going to get all kinds of pieces of it, and I don't really have a lot to add. I genuinely think if you want to know what my ownerships in this game are, you can look up the projected ownership, and then you'll know what mine is. And that's not a stand I take late, but you know what? Sometimes you have to do that kind of thing. Sometimes those are the right moves to do in games. It's not to get so crazy with it because I think there's other spots, and it's going to be really chalky, but I don't want to just fade it just because I want to be cool and fade it. It's a game that's going to put up fantasy numbers. There's going to be 2 players in that game, most likely, or at least 1 player, most likely 2 players that are on most tournament winning lineups, in my opinion.
Yep. And it's been that way the first couple of weeks. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you needed to have those big games. You needed to have those popular games, at least pieces of them, be in contention,
Yeah, and then you could get we have plenty of other guys we can get weird with. We don't need to get, crazy just because just because the game is going to be popular.
So Tampa, Denver, this is it's a really tough spot. Melvin Gordon is rates to be a decent play, but a very, very difficult spot against Tampa, which you mentioned. But if no one's going to play him because of it, I might try a little of him. On the Tampa side, I really, really like Chris Godwin. I think eventually Brady's going to, I would say lock into him, because Brady doesn't lock into anybody, but I think Godwin's going to be like a legit, number 1 option for him. And he seems like a reasonable price, and I like him. Those are my 2 real takes from this game. I'm not going to get to Noah Fant, I don't think. But and I don't think I'm going to get to the Denver receivers, even though, aside from Fant, Judy, I guess, is okay. But again, like, Tampa's rough. I mean, I think Tampa's pretty good. I said that before the season. And I think their defense, both running and receiving, could be pretty decent. So that's all I got from this game.
Yeah, I'm sort of with you. This is not the most exciting game in the world to me. I think the best play is probably makes the most sense is Melvin Gordon. I do think that you could try to take a shot on this other kid. I don't think they want to give Gordon every carry. They did give him 19 last week, and he looked good. He played well for us. I got talked off of him by some people, but he still was pretty solid for the value, especially. He's fine. I don't really want to go crazy with him, but I don't mind taking a shot on this other kid, this KJ Hamyer. I think that they might give him some more run this week, and he's so cheap. It sort of allows you to do different things with your lineup. He had 7 targets last week. They could be down in this game quite a bit. Now, obviously, we don't like these running back spots too much. I'm not saying go crazy, but I could see this kid being the better play than Gordon, a good portion of the time here. So I'll have a tiny bit there, but mostly I'm not really that into this game. I do like the idea of taking a shot on really low-owned Godwin and Evans. but I don't think that it's something that you. I say that, but like Detroit's secondary, I mean, this might be the spot where we should be stacking these guys. Detroit's secondary is so awful, which is why no one played Aaron Jones partially last week, because everyone sided with the passing game and Adams. They were so awful, they decided to double Adams, and immediately Green Bay just decided, okay, well, we're just going to run it down your throat. And they put up 1 million points. The week before, they got put up 1 million points. Trubisky brought them back, and they threw the ball for 1 million yards. Why couldn't this be the Brady get right? Oh, I'm sorry. I keep doing this. I keep having this as Detroit, not Denver. Sorry, Sheets. I'm literally doing a whole Detroit thing, and it's talking about Denver.
So
no, I still like those guys at low ownership. I still like Evans and Godwin at low ownership. Maybe at some point we could talk about Leonard Fournette just being completely unowned, and he did have a monster game last week, but I don't particularly find myself going anywhere outside of Evans and Godwin too much.
So this is what I'm going to do. You want to think about this while I'm doing it. I'm going to go through each position. I want to give like a couple of guys that are not going to be the chalk that I'm going to be putting in like, a good amount of my lineups.
All right, let's do it.
I'll do it every position. Well, I'm not going to do quarterback because you know how I roll there. It's going to be whatever receivers I end up taking. That's what the quarterbacks I'm going to end up getting. So,
well, but you say that, but then I just have to remind you, when you do that, you always have, I'm telling you, you're going to want these Josh Allen stacks every week, as long as they keep throwing the ball out. And it is Josh Allen specifically with one of those receivers, but you're not going to find yourself naturally with Josh Allen ever if you do that. That's all I'm saying.
That's going to be the one that that'll be my exception, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so at running back, again, I'm only looking at guys that I'm seeing at under 10%. Josh Jacobs, James Conner, and matchup be damned, David Johnson.
Okay, we're actually I think on a similar-ish page. Actually, you know what? I want a little bit less of Kenyon Drake. Sorry about that.
Let me continue, and you can come back to yours. Okay. So tight ends. I already mentioned Hunter Henry. That's going to be, and then that's going to be my one, sub 10%. Tight end, you don't need that many anyway. Wide receiver, it's so hard to tell who's going to be low owned. So I'll say Terry McLaurin, Chris Godwin, and those will be my two little nuggets.
I like it. So for my running backs that are going to be low owned, Eckler, Tariq Cohen. How did I possibly program that much of DeAndre Swift in my thing? I still have some mild interest in DeAndre Swift, but certainly not like my thing is trying to spit him out for me. Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Joe Mixon. Those are the guys who are the lower ones I'm using.
And how about we do this? We already talked about Dallas, Seattle, Detroit, Arizona, and we kind of alluded to Pittsburgh as a game that we like. Give me one other game that you think can surprise people, that could end up having the winning teams and all that.
I think that Cincinnati, Philly, and Vegas and the Patriots, along with the Houston one that you mentioned.
Yep, I was going to say
Atlanta too. It could end up going a lot of ways.
Yep, I was going to say Vegas, New England, as my kind of off the board one, and the one we talked about and the Buffalo game.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, for receivers, off the board ish. Well, N'Keal Harry's not going to be. He'll be lower than 10%. T.Y. Hilton, John Brown, Stephon Diggs, Juju Smith-Schuster. I like a ton of receivers that are under. And by the way, if you want, in general, as a rule of thumb, and most of you know this who watch the show by now, you always want to be more high variance at receiver, lower variance at running back overall. There's more certainty for running backs than there are for receivers in general, not across the board. Oh, Mike Williams is the other one I really like.
And, don't forget, I wasn't going to say, and that's why, sometimes you like to pay down for receivers because, well, look, DeAndre Hopkins is the best play. You need to score a lot of points if you're going to pay that price. You know what I mean? I guess.
Yeah, like last week against Washington when he had 8 catches for 68 yards and touchdown. That's not good enough. We're going to need more than that. You know what I mean? You're going to need more than that for him to be valuable at his price this week.
Yeah.
All right, tight ends. Tight ends, I've got as my low-owned Dallas Goedert is one of my favorite ones. Jordan Reed. Is somebody messing with my system? Where are these picks coming from? I actually like this guy a little bit, but Dalton Schultz, Chris Herndon,
Okay.
and then if you want to get weird again with Tyler Higbee.
People are going to own Jonnu Smith, right?
Yeah, I started correcting myself because he's going to be more popular than it.
Okay.
And he's a little bit pricey. But it's interesting because they'll own him and at only 700 more, and they're all responding to the same thing. You know, they lost the wide receiver, so Jonnu Smith tends to get more work. He's not always going to catch 2 touchdowns. He only caught 5 passes last week. 2 of them were touchdowns, or caught 4 passes. He was only targeted 5 times. And no one wants to play Tyler Higbee at 5.9 because he's 700 more and he scored 3 touchdowns. I don't understand entirely what that's about because it doesn't seem like a matchup-related thing, even though, yes, Tyler Higbee is in a slightly worse matchup.
I don't know. Waller was on national TV just lighting up the joint. I mean, he's going to be really popular.
No, but why is Jonnu Smith and not Tyler Higbee?
Oh, right. That makes sense.
That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to play one side of that, you're basically playing sort of a similar type of story anyway. Sheets, do you want to talk if there's any defense that stands out? I know you don't like defenses, so you're not really doing it. You sort of said that already, I guess, so I don't need to ask you if defenses really stand out.
Well, you know you could play, no, I mean, not really. I really don't want to give an opinion there on defense.
You changed your mind already on that one.
I was going to say you have a take against Baker Mayfield, so just go play freaking
No, I don't.
Play whoever they play.
Yeah, he sucks. I always like to do that in general, but like they're going to put up points this week. You still don't have talent on the team. It's just
right.
I mean, he's going to put up numbers on weeks. He'll have weeks where he goes 350 and no picks and 3 touchdowns, and I'll say he probably had a good week. But
but it's funny, man. With the defenses, it's not necessarily the team that like can control the game, whatever it is. Like San Francisco against the Giants. I'll give you a better example. Like Indianapolis against the Jets. Okay, Indianapolis probably going to hold the Jets to 10 real points or something like that, or whatever. But I don't know if the Jets are even going to be in a position to air the ball out and to give up interceptions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It could be a nice boring grind. Whereas you get these other wild games like, I don't know, like take the Buffalo defense or something. You know, I don't know, like some where there's going to be passing, where there be tip balls, where there be people dropping back to pass, and you know whatever it is. Yeah. I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I do think the Jets will throw the ball though, and I like. But the weirdest part is I think the Jets might be my favorite defense because
there it is.
What you're saying. You have. I mean, that's what our mine and Grant. We used to have the same rule, and by the way, it worked phenomenally. He almost won the millionaire with it. We would play the Chargers defense with Phillip Rivers as our quarterback and stack the game. Because Phillip Rivers would throw usually a pick or 2. There's maybe you get a fumble or something like that. He'd also take sacks. And Phillip Rivers now is the quarterback for Indy. So he's gonna, even if he lights him up, you're not trying to get the team that's not going to score points. Like you said, you want the team that's going to make the mistake. Phillip Rivers is absolutely happy to make those mistakes. And they're 2K.
You know what you could do? You could play the Eagles defense.
If you want. That's the ultra chalk, and that's one I'll probably. I don't usually like to fade defenses, but I might consider fading Philadelphia because there's no reason for
There's going to be a chalk defense? Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I'll forget it then.
I mean, my guess is in terms of chalk meaning like 15 to 20%, right?
Oh, you want to know why? Because people are going to put in the optimizer, they're going to pair Sanders with the defense, right?
That's part of it. That's a huge part of it. But also because they're playing Cincinnati, young quarterback, young team, all that stuff. They're playing at home. They have they're favored by 3.5 points. There's a lot of things that lead it to making a lot of sense. But I'll just say, I think the Giants against the Niners could end up being just every bit as good, and they're going to have 1/3 the ownership.
All right, you want a defense? All right, fine. Here it is. I have a defense. A defense who, again, they're not that cheap, so people are not going to default down to them. They're not that great, so you're not going to go up to here. It's going to be right in the middle. We're going to take the Tampa defense. That's going to be the defense.
They're going to be popular. The second one's popular.
Forget it, man. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, good stuff, man. Hey, good luck to everyone out for this week for Sheets and for all of us over here at QL TV, all that stuff. Let's win some money. We'll see you at the top leaderboards.
I see you later.